Hey everybody. Um, Thought I'd like to do a little update video regarding the previous one, which was the spring 2019 sale video. I'd like to clarify a few things, but I also have a lot of other things to talk about. So, first of all, um, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Um, we, as a channel, now have over 1,000 subscribers, and that is pretty amazing. I never would have thought we would have got this high. So appreciate that, and I hope I can keep putting out content that keeps you guys coming back. Um, so with that said, that kind of brings me back to the sale video. Um, Feedback would be appreciated on the video itself, as whether or not it seems to be a good way for us to list birds that we're selling. Um, Back home, I usually only sold about twice a year, around the April May time period and a September October time period. And that's because that's when a lot of the auctions were back home. So I don't usually keep extra stock on hand year round. During the winter, it's just hard to ship. And during the summer, it can get really hot, especially if I'm sending the birds down south. So, for the most part, those are the two areas of time that I try to sell. Now, with the video, um, I had requested that if you were interested in the birds listed, to please email me. Um, the reason for that, well, there's multiple reasons. Number one, we have so many subscribers now, I don't want your message to get lost in the comments. It's important that I get back to you whether or not I'm sold out, so I don't want it to get lost. Number two is I have a suspicion that comments are being deleted on my videos, and I'm not the one doing it. So there again, I don't want your message to disappear. Or if I'm talking to you and we're going back and forth, and all of a sudden your message disappears, I'm not gonna necessarily remember your exact screen name to be able to track you down. So if it's in an email, I have a better shot at that, and it keeps things more organized for me. Um, the other reason that I'd prefer that the comments are done through email is so that I can get you quotes on zip codes. Now, this time around, I decided to just figure up flat pricing, but I'd still appreciate your zip codes because there are shipping bans due to disease outbreaks in parts of the Southwest and the West. And I don't want to tell someone I can send the birds and then have them get rejected and sent back. Okay. Um, I'm not trying to hide my prices, so you know I'm pretty straight across the board with the prices. I do make exceptions sometimes if it's a really young guy, that kind of thing. But at the same time, if I wanted to be selling them dirt cheap just to get rid of them, I'd sell them around here local at the auctions. And I generally in the fall I'll sometimes do that if I got ones that well, case in point, one year when I was learning how to use toe punch, I did it wrong and I damaged the toes on a lot of young birds. Now, rather than sell them online for a high price, I just considered them blemished. I took them to a local auction. I didn't make hardly any money on them. The people who got them were very happy with them. They wanted more. Unfortunately, I didn't have that bloodline anymore come next spring, and I had actually told them that fall that I was selling all my breeding pairs of that bloodline because I was cutting down because I was getting ready to move. So it'd be in their best interest to breed them, and they didn't listen. Nothing I can do about that. So that's just the two main things about that sale video is I'm really excited that you guys are all interested in the birds. I just, for a standpoint of keeping track of everyone, it's really better if you just please email me. The email is chicken.wired.tv@gmail.com, and you'll see that in a lot of the comments on that video. Um, so my next point I wanted to bring up is why I haven't gotten in touch with a lot of you guys until now. I posted that video last Tuesday, and Wednesday a winter storm rolled in. Started off as rain, turned to ice, and eventually snow. There was high winds, and we lost power Wednesday, and we didn't get it back until 6 days later. So this morning is the first morning at our house where I've been able to turn the lights on, and it's still not over. They basically got the power set up so that the houses are lit up and heating again, but I'm gonna have to call in an electrician and a plumber because prior to the storm we were having electrical issues, and now since the storm those issues have resumed, and also I have no hot water. And considering my condition due to my accident, I can't go down there and see what's going on with my hot water heater. The basement did flood as a result of this power outage because the pumps couldn't run, and I suspect that the pilot light's out at the very least. Hopefully that's all that's wrong with it. So now on to some more fun stuff. We've got all the business out of the way. With this power outage, I've gotten to do a lot of reading. And first of all, the newest newsletter for the Society for the Preservation of Poultry Antiquities came out, and there are some very interesting articles on some very rare breeds and very rare colors in this one. And not only that, but they actually get good color photographs of the birds to publish. And two of the colors they discuss, one is the Auburn color in the Java breed, and the other is a color in a breed called an Erminet. Remind me a lot of some gamefowl colors, so I'm actually thinking about writing an article for the next newsletter questioning the origin of the color of the Auburn and the Erminet, because to me the Erminet looks a lot like some of these families of white gamefowl we have where there's random colored feathers but very few, and the Auburn Java looks to me like a pheasant-breasted red, a color that's basically disappeared in American gamefowl but was once known in English gamefowl. So that's exciting. Other than that, I've been reading a lot of books, and there'll be more book reviews coming up. I'm not just going to plug the channel with those, don't worry. But Stromberg's Guide to Better Hatching. I'm currently going through this one to evaluate it for beginners, and I may have already done a video on it, but it never hurts to reread it. So I'll double check and make sure I haven't already done a video on that one. Modern Poultry Development. The Old English Color Guide. The Gamefowl Color Guide. The author of this book is still alive today. I believe he's a resident of Ireland, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check here where this was published. Oh, anyway, so I'll be talking about that book. Very, very good book. Nicely put together. Top notch all the way. The Best of Narragansett. If you collect the old Gamefile magazines, you probably ran into the pen name of Narragansett. And let me tell you, I couldn't put this book down. Just the way that he writes and the things he talks about makes a lot of sense to a breeder's perspective. It doesn't matter what kind of birds you raise. Matter of fact, a lot of times in this book, he references racing horses to compare to what he's trying to accomplish with his birds. Crested Bantams. I've got several other little booklets like these on Old English and Modern Game and Sebrights. Pigeon Genetics by Bob McWan is actually a first edition. One of the first 100 printed, signed. And for you pigeon guys who like messing with color, if you can find a copy of this, I believe they still are printing it. And from what I've seen, I suspect that a different publisher has it because he was self-publishing originally, and so I would say the print quality has gone up with it, but very good handy book to have. Stairway to the Breeds is a heavy book, and it's full of historical imagery of different breeds. Let's see, I'll just thumb through here real quick and show you one in particular. Here's a picture of a black Sumatra from the 1920s, right there. Kind of looks like some of our dark families around had now, doesn't it? And I'm also going to talk about this book right here. So that's just a tip of the iceberg of the books you can expect to see coming down the pike. But I'm starting to hear thunder and lightning. Lights are kind of getting a little shaky here, so I'm going to wrap this up before the power goes out. But again, I just want to say thank you all for making this channel what it is. Keep contributing in the comments. Oh, Springer. I just want you to know I'm going to be sending an email, but your bird will be going out this coming week. With the holiday, we didn't want to send her out. Plus, my mom had to send my grandpa to the VA hospital on Monday for his checkup. So we'll get her out and on her way to you next week. The rest of you, I'm getting a hold of you as quick as I can on the emails or the phone calls. So please just be patient with me, and hope you all have a good one.